Hey team, how we going? Let's see how this goes now. It should be apples. It should be fine. I haven't done anything to it. It's just the computer or something is going a little bit haywire. Not sure which. But welcome on Friday the 13th. This is meant to be the day of the hex where everything goes wrong. So maybe this is befitting. Let's see. Who's going to be first on? Can they hear me? That's better. And funny, I've done absolutely nothing to it. Proud Australian, good to have you here. For everyone that thinks this is the first time they've ever been to this, you need to subscribe right now to the author of Chicks Dig Guys with Scurvy. I wrote it. To Girls Also Like Guys with Plaque, version 2. And I swiped right on Hillary. Guys and gals, welcome to the stream tonight, and I hope we can have a good time because tonight is all about answering the questions that you asked. You've had 24 hours, whether you were in Patreon, subscribe right now to Patreon, the link is below. Help me to help others, 480 as many as we can have, and then there'll be no more. Or become a member. And that's the other gentlemen and lasses, ladies, and not so much of the latter, of either, have thrown the questions in. You're going to hear those tonight. Righto. So we've got Emma. That's better. Madison has just completed Capuca and got the Skillet Arms Award. Fantastic. Fantastico if you're Spanish. We've got Rusty here. Put some oil on it, mate. We've got Proud Australian. How's it going, Matty? We've got Philemon Winter. G'day, cousin guys. Good to have you here, mate. Minty fresh. I wish my breath smelled a little bit better than a dog's butt at the moment. We've got Madison throwing a couple of bucks in there, and I'll throw this to you, my dear. It's a kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Maybe. Welcome, Calamari. Good to have you here too, Carl P. JC, evening all. We've got all the blue here. We've got Mr. Patterson yet. Julian Sticker. Good to have you here. Zachary Viggers. You'd go last on the duty board list with a name that starts with Z. Well done. Very well planned by your family as well. Lockie W. Thanks, Matty. Cheers, mate. And throughout this stream, what we can see in the background is still the commemoration of Remembrance Day. Righto, for all of those that lost their lives across the world in the last 120 years. Because I want to include the Boer War as well. We've got Kyle Sweeney. Just have to pass my PFA and I'll get my date for Capuca. Nice. The PFA is going to be fairly easy. You should be able to pass that if you deserve to be on Tinder, etc. If you can pass the PFA, then you're okay. You'll be in there. Cody Brown. Good to have you here, mate. Guys and gals, I'm about to turn geek. For anyone that thinks I'm a 5 and above on the swipe right scale, look away now and switch your headphones. Boom. I'm about to ruin all that. Damn, I feel like I went past high school now. Good looking lady. Hello, good looking lady. About 20-second delay. That's true. Lightfoot. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Kaz. I got a new smartphone, the ADF Active app. I finished week 2. Well done. Treat every week, treat every day during training like it is a test, like it is a game show, like you're an SAS Australia Who Dares wins Channel 7 fake news, and you'll be fine. Every day's a new challenge, but every day's a new laugh. In the trenches with Pepsi, that will not happen. Jay Hayes, boom, they're not gang symbols. It's not cerebral palsy. That is Jay Hayes from Western Australia, the best friend of our northern subscriber, Kane. Julian Pound, Air Force calling me next week for Agi roll. That's like Special Forces, yeah? Lauren, awesome Lightfoot. I always think of Mayor Lightfoot from Chicago. Looks like Beetlejuice. Madison, where are the other Spanners? Well, Mr. P, I'm not sure where he is. We've got the lovely JC down here, who is also a Thin Blue Line recipient. We've got Kyle Peppers. I just had pepper on a steak and half it's trapped between my rear teeth here. Wish I had the dental and the military now. Don't tell him Maggie is SF. That's all right. That's okay. I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone remembered to remember. One query I have for you, team. One query I have for you is why is the least viewed video that I've ever made the one about Remembrance Day. It really kind of put me off for a few days. Get behind it, watch it later, remember to remember. And I thought, you know what? They're probably at the actual ceremony himself. Good on them. But we need to remember. Glennie Jones is here. Good to have the members here. And Jay Dean, how are you, mate? Rossi, boom. Good to have you here, Rossi. We've got a lot of veteran friends out there tonight. You know, not that many people thought I had many friends. I don't owe anyone money anymore, I don't think. So that means they must be legit. Good-looking lady. That's Jason Ross up there. Great guy. Tim Emblem. Hey, Kaz, just joined and saw the title. Do the Aussies have such a thing as shark attack? We don't have the same sort of operating as the talking about there. I'll cover off on it first before we get the registered questions. Is when you go to the US Army, remember our military is all about doing the same thing upwards, having traditions, something that has been built up and it's there for a reason, a capability. Not the pussification that's happening to all modern militaries across the Western world to make social justice warriors that aren't going to sign anything, aren't going to put up a hand or oath or affirmation to please them within the HR departments. What the shark attack is for the first 24 hours of joining the US Army, not necessarily Marines, Air Force or Navy, what occurs is you are beasted. They are there, they are all around you. They are there to overwhelm you so that you realise that I am not in Kansas now, Dorothy. The whole point about it is breaking you down, then lifting you back up. But when you see that it's happening to everyone, what it's about is breaking that resilience down so they can then start to shape you. There is people of all colours that are having a go at you. It is not personal. It is not racist. They are there to make the weak sink to the bottom so then either they can be removed because you wouldn't want a course where everyone passes. If you did, your training's not hard enough. James Morris, good to have you here. I was in Chocos on exercise and they asked for dental victims. Holy shit. I needed a filling and the CEO of my medical unit was guided to do the local. That sounds bizarre, mate. That sounds like it's out of Saw. This one's for you, bud.
Not so cold. Not so cold.
That's not Sukow, the White Warrior.
I accept!
Mate, the Army Dental, you always feel like you can hear ominous music in the background when you go in there. And something you may not know, if you haven't had your wisdom teeth removed, the impression is that you will have your 4 wisdom teeth taken out before you go on operational service, so that can't potentially become a medical, administrational, a out-of-battle experience to you that becomes a dilemma to your call sign capability levels. So expect to get all 4 of those knocked out, okay, with some sort of ballpoint hammer. Max Murph, hey Kaz, I'm in my 9th week fishing, finishing Hell Week, about to go to field at Kapuka. Shit's been good so far. How can there be a Hell Week in Kapuka? I wouldn't imagine any of it's hard except that bloody high altitude tower to see if you're over heights. But there you go. Dave Ring, he's here from Vietnam. Great to have you here. I wish I'd been to Nam. I'd go across the border, come back, go across the border. That means I'd have DOS tours of Nam. One more than me dad. Mr. Axe, good name. Message retracted. Come on, mate. You're not misbehaving already, are we? James Morris, lots of laugh. I was in a medical unit and the dentist guide to see it. Okay, there we go. They call it Hell Week, apparently. Yeah, not so much. The first week should be, but it is not supposed to be something that is not there for a capability. They don't waste their time at basic training. Everything has a purpose, even if the recipient doesn't understand why it's being done. Okay, and that is to break you down and then recreate you. It is to also delineate the relationships between staff and trainees that want to be pole smokers. Go easy on me, I'm a good guy. So the whole point about that is showing you I'm not here to be your friend. This is Kapuka. This is America. This is basic training, recruit, boot camp, whatever you want to call it. They're not your friend. They're to give you a green light, keep going, or red light, stop, back squad, start again. That's what their job is to do. Not like Singleton, where all of a sudden the hand comes off, more responsibility comes on, the weapons get more dangerous, more technical, the capability expectation is higher. But also the conversations, you are treated like an adult because you already understand how to march, how to get around the area, how to address ranks, how to have communications and understand the chain of command. We're going to go on with the questions now. We're going to start off with the actual the questions from the members first. So bear with me and I'll answer these in order as they came through. If you want to be a member, join now. The join button is beside your subscribe button. Jump on there. Your name goes green. You can do it for $3 a month. That's less than McDonald's coffee with skim milk. Mr. Bryce, how you going there, veteran? JC, plans are moving forward, Lauren. Got a great logo. Big things coming up for JC. We've got Aaron Hazelton. We've got Megan. Hey, this might sound like a stupid question, but Kapuka, is there a bathroom schedule? No, you can't go whenever you need, so you can use it like a tactic. You know, no, you'll be given time in certain areas, and expectations are that you're an adult, and you only get a certain amount of time to go, and no time to read a book or have a phone. And it's amazing how little time you need in the toilet. Okay, when you don't actually have a phone to play games on. So let's have a look. Have you ever stood on dog shit? Were you even wearing thongs? Here we go. Community. Bam. Comments. Okay, here we go. Jay Hayes. If you weren't accepted, this is question 1, team. If you're over here, feel free to do whatever you need to do, but I'm going to be tapping through these questions and giving respect back to the registered questions that have come through. Veteran response. Jay Hayes from Western Australia says, if you weren't accepted in the ADF, which career job would have you chosen to do? What would have been your fallback options? P.S. Happy birthday to little Miss Minnie Kaz, daughter born on Remembrance Day and dad born on Anzac Day. That's us. That's an awesome feat in itself. What would I do if I hadn't joined the army? You know what? I gave everything to the army. Everything. I really didn't back up anything. I had no backup plan. The careers, the technology didn't exist then that exists now that give you a plethora of avenues you could go to. What would I do? I would have failed at whatever it was. It was my only interest. It was my calling. It was my go-to. I probably would have, I don't know. Honestly, I never even considered it. Yeah. I never even considered it. I'm sorry, Jay, you got to give me more time, but I'd be lying if I said anything else. We've got Retro Gaming. How would you handle someone claiming stolen valor toward you? How would you feel about it? Well, it depends if I had stolen valor, which I don't. If I had stolen valor, I'd pull the fuck up and stop doing what I'm doing that makes people think it. If I wasn't stolen valor, I'd probably tell that person, you better be real careful what you do and what you say and what you're going to say next. Because if someone's going to accuse you of that, that's one of those times when you shouldn't go for a walk away, run away. You know, unless they weigh 20 kilos more than you and they fight for the UFC. There is times you need to stand your ground. I'd ask them, what would make you think that I'm stolen valor? Maybe there's something you're doing in your actions that's making them think that. I don't know. Retro? What is your proudest moment in uniform? My proudest moment in uniform, Bill Nutty. Thank you, mate. Member, section commander. My proudest moment would possibly be when you deploy, when you come home. It could have been when we gave Christmas back to a village, okay, over in East Timor, where we had our section there and made sure that we stayed up and saw the happiness on the families' faces. And it was in Mimo, I think it was, around a church at Christmas time. And we just watched the happiness when the kids, for the first time in their lives, some of them, went to the church with Charlie Squad and were able to have Christmas with their family in safety. And then they threw us a dinner where I believe that I ate canine. Sorry, Robbie Kent, afterwards. So I'd say for achievement, that was it. But there's plenty of shameful times as well that I won't go into. Bailey's hat. Good to have you here, mate. Hi, Kaz. A friend who also wants to be in the army as a logistics officer says that people who go to infantry are tryhards. Really? What should I say to her and prove her wrong? I would say you're going to fail as an officer because, one, that is not what I'd expect of an officer. I'd say she's very immature, very young, very childish. And I would say to her that logistically, you're meant to be doing your best to support those that are at the very front, which are, in fact, infantry. If you have a problem with that, if you have a problem supporting those that you're only in the job to do, other than that you don't have a job, career, calling, maybe you're not the droid we're looking for RMC. And I'd tell her, be careful you don't put your real name to that comment, because if the military gets it, you may not have a career at all. She wouldn't say that to an infantryman's face anyway. You know, if they didn't, they wouldn't raise their voice. They would let her know that she's a dickhead, okay, and she should feel very embarrassed for what she's saying. Or they should deliberately now give her muster as infantry. See how she likes that. Mr. Bryce, the veteran. Okay, I'm going to throw this in the ring. What do you think of Angus Campbell's threat of making military honours away from servicemen who are named in the Brereton inquiry? No, they can't do that. You know, criminal proceedings take place, and should the Brereton report be made public without redacting any information? No, it shouldn't, because people that do not understand this job, career, calling, commitment, rules of engagement, political position, asymmetric warfare predicament, could not possibly understand what they're looking at. Okay, I saw my mate Bill sent me a message today saying, oh, I know you can't shoot until you're fired on. That's bullshit. There's never a time, ever a time, where an Australian soldier or a police officer needs to be fired at before they can fire back. Never. Okay. Report be made public? No. I have my opinion on the whole thing, but I'll keep my mind open to everyone else's comments. So that's a really good one, Brycey. And my answer would be, no, you don't have the right to take an honour award of someone. You got rid of dishonourable discharge and honourable discharge, and now you want to go back on that and do your own little thing? Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Biden, you don't get to do that. Okay, just because someone has done something wrong or could in fact become a crime, i.e. break a Morant. Okay, he still would have had citations, medals, okay, and things he done well before he was actually shot by a firing squad for killing prisoners on what he believed to be the expectation of the chain of command. Yeah, so my answer would be no, the public shouldn't hear it. The public should not necessarily hear about it. Okay. James Morris, since reserves in 80, 88, 92, best time of my life, studied for computers, now dream job 2008 to now chasing crooks unsworn. I like it. I like that a lot. This one's for you, sir, for your service. It's a Kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, Calamari. I love this name. Hibiscus. I've always laughed at that flower's name. Hibiscus is a good name, and one that will be remembered. Thank you very much, Hibiscus. Kaz, how many times a week would you recommend practicing the beep test? Once you have done the beep test and you understand how it works, once you've seen the video, my fitness video on tips for the beep test, I don't recommend really practice at all. Once you can exceed 7.5 male and female, once you can get past 8.5, then I wouldn't practice the beep test at all. The only reason why the beep test ever gets used is because it can be used in confined spaces. It has the maximum amount of transparency to those that are actually holding a session from a fitness leader's perspective, and or a subject course or recruit training, etc., when it's being used as an observation tool of performance. So what I'd recommend to you instead is chasing things up with long distance slow runs, 5Ks and over, maybe once a week. Also doing 2.4 the target distance for the BFA, the basic fitness assessment, once you get in. Okay, other than that, I would go for as much interval training as what you can. Run a kilometre, okay, then have a rest. Run a kilometre, then have a rest. That rest should be 1 minute, okay, or it might be 2 minutes, it might be 5 minutes, but then you bring it down. But the point is, do not walk. Okay, so the beep test, you don't train for beep test by doing beep tests. The technique, the turning around, the not going across the line, okay, the what leg you push off, make sure you alter it, control your breathing, seeing where you're at, diagnostic, I get that. Okay, but go for runs instead. And if you need more on that, okay, we can have a talk about it and I'll give you some tips. Okay? Thanks for your question. Hibiscus. Michael Jordan. Hey Kaz, love the channel. What is your experience of MPs? I've been in trouble times often. Have you worked with them on operations or much in combined training? Thank you and hope all is well. Jordo. Okay, Jordo. Mate, I haven't worked with MPs much. You know, they've got a function. It's normally way behind us unless we're doing prisoner transfer where we put the prisoners over to them after they come and take them out of our location, our hands, and sign off on them. They're more of a middle and rear echelon sort of guys. Okay, they tend to be where the comfort is. They've got a shitload of bell curve roles, which is not just pulling up people for running too fast in their fitness test, but also for close point protection, political rank levels above colonel, etc. They're also in positions for guides for convoys, etc., and also prisoner detail administration tasks. So they're not like cops. Don't ever think MPs are like cops. As soon as it is a big enough crime, it gets taken over by the actual police. PK, father of AK. Hi, Kaz. Question for me is, what role in the army do you think has the best civilian employment opportunities? I'd have to say engineers. Engineers. The new millionaires of today's society, 2020 and onwards, is going to be tradies. They all own their houses. Okay, they have technical rewards for their skill sets, where they get paid a lot of money these days, whether they own the business or whether they are a contracted tradie. So I would say definitely engineers, because they can get all the big tickets for heavy vehicles, etc. as well. Carl P, one of my favourite Carls I've ever met. Hey Kaz, do you have any tips on how to get faster at running? My 2.4 runs are good, but trying to get them faster every week. We've got some reports at the moment by one of our fitter soldiers who's at the School of Infantry at the moment that he just did a BFA with 80 plus people getting ready for next year's session, and there was people that broke 8 minutes. So if you're a 12-minute runner team and you think that's enough, are you going to be happy with someone beating you by 5 minutes? How are they going to look at you? Are they going to be picking up your shit? You need to speed up. You need to get it down to 10 if you can. I'd expect you to be able to do it 10 if you're under 30 years old as well. Guys and gals, Carl P, if you want to run 2.4 faster, what you need to do is go out and test that. Anyone that wants to do this is run your very hardest 2.4 to create a diagnostic. How fast can I run at the moment? How fast do I want to run? Interval training. What do you recommend? Nick Bear is one of the best guys I would say to watch videos for. He was an officer in the US Army, now fitness instructor, big guy, bodybuilder, but also runner, and he runs at an exceptionally fast speed for his size, and he will tell you how to run. He is the best YouTube channel source material, I believe, for telling you and helping you how to run. He's great at it. He does great videos too. So, Carl, I hope that helps, and we can have another conversation offline, and we'll go into even more detail. Jay Hayes, what is the recipe for your garlic sauce? I will not tell you. Vampires will even enjoy the taste of my garlic sauce. It is the best. For a girl to have my garlic sauce, she has to put out. No one gets it for free. Jay Hayes, after serving 24 years in the Australian Army, do you still enjoy eating Anzac biscuits? No. And why do you hate Pepsi so much? I see Pepsi as the Democrat Party. Sorry for those that are political. Not a fan. I think it's light on the fizz, and I don't like the fact that they force us to have that in a place where we'd naturally prefer Coca-Cola, i.e. the Colonel. Stand fast. KFC. Don't tell me what to drink. Have the options there so I get to choose. Anzac biscuits, loved them. Love them warm. Love them the way Grandma used to make them. You know, the ones in the ration packs, not so much. Modi, this is the last question for members before we kick over on to our Patreon questions, and then we'll hand over free time to you guys. What was that running YouTube channel again? Flubba Dubba and Friends. It's about fitness, and it's Nick. N-I-C-K, or Nook, said in New Zealand, bear. And that's not New Zealand for the animal bear. Bear, B-A-R-E, Bravo, Alpha, Romeo, Echo, Nick Bear. Mode of transport. Hard and sad question alert. Oh, shit. What do you think that today's society is so uptight about dismantling the patriarchy, making everyone equal? Though it allows differences in the primary defence assessment, differences in it erodes capability, I would say. I personally believe those who choose to have a career in the defence must know that they will need to be tested to be given the privilege of promotion, and that requires discipline. And why do you think those people are allowed to suggest in some of the minds of children today that the sacrifice of our fathers before us should not be remembered for events like Remembrance Day? A question came from my cousin who is a teacher in Victoria. She should give up now. Her father is still active army. P.S. This is what a school council was trying to implement but failed after my cousin involved the principal. And I would continue on with that, and I'd take it the entire way. I don't want people to lose their job, but what else is she teaching? I would say that she's failed in her role for what she's there to do as a mentor and someone that can be trusted around children. Just like someone at school trying to tell someone you should join the army would be wrong. Okay? If someone comes to you and says, I would like to join, we don't conscript. Okay, what we do is we take volunteers. I would never say to someone at school, okay, I want you to join the army. I suggest you join the army, unless they were really closely going over the other side of the lines and getting themselves in the shit where they can't come back. So everything about capability. I think what's happening across the entire Western world is the pussification of the armies, where we're giving out prizes to people through HR. I don't believe that anyone should be in recruiting that has not actually served in the military. I don't believe someone who has not served in the army should be giving advice on army, navy, or air force, vice versa. Respect all the arms of the military, whether it be the air force, army, or navy, and just lead off with, understand that that is not my background, that is not my expertise. Okay, but taking that into account, I'm going to give you the best possible non-partisan answer I possibly can, understanding that I am going to fashion your career. So here we go. If you're not happy with that, then I will also get someone who is more likely to be able to give you a more accurate response. Okay? Anyway, Brian Parnaby. Hey, mate, how you going? 10 years in 2 hour. Well done, mate. Mr. Buckaroony. Anyone else got lower volume than normal? I'll roll it back up. Geez, Mr. Buckaroony, not many people tell me to speak up. Is that a little bit better, team? Righto, let's kick over to the Patreon. I will get on here, and so I can't hear my own voice. Monitor off. So can we just get a thumbs up to say that you can still hear me okay there, please? Thumbs up. Okay, that's better, Kaz. Thank you. Hey, there we go. Guys and girls, understand when you throw these questions at me, I don't always get time to answer, get time to go through them, read them, prepare, etc. So sometimes as I'm reading this, I might be, what have you just asked me to answer? I've got a really, g'day Hibiscus, she's here. Retro Gaming, Fugly, haven't lately, Lauren, I'm just letting the inspiration wash over me. Buckaroony, yes mate, much better, thanks. There we go, awesome. Tick the like now if you do like, team. Let's have a few more members come in if we can. You know, I like to see it go green. I like to see the subscribes. I like to see people's name coming up saying they support the channel, and then the community step in and then support them by saying g'day, hearing what you've got to say. Good on you. This is your channel. The more seriously you take it, okay, the more seriously I take it, the better it becomes for everyone that watch. Here we go. Wait a sec. What do we got here? This guy takes it seriously. Look at that. That's why I hate Pepsi. Because everywhere you go overseas as well, this is the best way to brush your teeth. Is that an Arabic can of Coke right there? Here we go. Here's some questions. Attaboy. This is the Patreon questions here. How many recruits does it take to screw a light bulb in? As many as it takes. It'd be in order. If you're a recruit, you only do what you're supposed to do. We'll say two, because everyone's got a buddy in Kapuka. Battle buddy. Robert Patterson. Let's test the grey matter. What battalions are currently on the Orbat? What role do they individually play within the regiment and their lockstat? Okay, let's start with Townsville. With 3 Brigade. And that is the 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, and 3rd Battalion are in Townsville. I reckon the best space, not just because of Cactus Jacks, but because it is just better. Okay, 1 RAR at the moment, I believe, is the only battalion that's taking females in. Okay, we have 2 RAR, which is amphibious, and we've got 3 RAR as well. One of them is motorised and one is mechanised, but the vehicles are not here yet. Then we've got 1 Brigade, which is 5 RAR, the 5th Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, and they are in Darwin, sharing that with some Americans as well. So you better make sure you're better looking than what your dad was if you think you're going to have a hope with the 3 girls in the entire city. What do we got here? Cane and Peppers, keep it up. Blue Pill, I get it.
Not so cold.
Oops.
Not so cold.
There's your not so
I
cow.
accept.
And because I interrupted it, I'm going to throw you some calamari. Thanks, Cane and Peppers.
It's a Kraken. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, Calamari.
See that mustache? Thick. Poker player from the 1600s. Righto. So that leaves us with 7 RAR, who's also part of 1 Brigade, and they are in Adelaide, the home of the single mum. Righto. They're down there. They're either motorised or mechanised. Okay. And again, they are, I'm not sure if they've actually got their vehicles yet. And that takes us over to 7 Brigade, I believe it is. And I was always in 3rd Brigade. And that is 6 RAR, which is the battalion that also has Delta Company, 6 RAR, the ones from Long Tan, okay, Delta Company. And they've also got 8-9, the Amalgamated Battalion, which is also in Brisbane. And one is motorised, one is mechanised. And again, I would not understand why you'd have 2 battalions in one location with 2 different sort of vehicle agencies, motorised and mechanised. It doesn't make sense to me. But what would I know? Jay Hayes, lots of love. Pepsi in the chat. No! Has someone changed their name to Pepsi? James Morris, 4 RAR needs to be re-raised as a new battalion and get the Badliners back from 2 Commando. James Morris, I totally agree with you, and I'm going to back that up with a hug of a tentacle. Would you eat that one, Buckaroonie?
It's a Kraken. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, Calamari.
Welcome. Yeah, I agree with that. I'd love to see 4 RAR raised. And you know what? Let's make it a Kiwi battalion. Let's get it an amalgamation between New Zealand and Australia, and let's have that. Start to forge some new traditions together. Okay, who else we got? So there you go, Rob. There you go. And then you've also got SOCOM, where you've got 2 Commando over in New South Wales, and then you've got SASR over in Western Australia. Understanding to get to Commandos, you have to have been infantry. You have to have done the IET training. Yep. So you learn to seek out and close your enemy, kill, catch him, seize and hold ground, repel attack by day or night, regardless of seize where they're trained. So help me God. We've got Daz here, the Hyundai driving crazy man. I'll put that back up there for you, Daz. Points to the Beetle. That was based on the punch buggy that I actually put there to call out the questions for tonight. And I hope you actually enjoy these questions, because that means you get to sit back and enjoy your brew without necessarily having to come up with something witty or something you need an answer to if you didn't know the difference. So that's got one up over a Hyundai. If you've got the knowledge, Kaz, I'd like to hear a little bit about how much you know on the different roles within cavalry and difference between a cavalry trooper and an infantryman. Call it cav versus infantry comparison. That's a really good one. And we're about to do that. But I just got James Morris, okay, you might know him from the Doors, who just said, my father was in 4AR when it was raised in Adelaide. He went to Malaya, Borneo and Vietnam. Well, mate, for starters, in the week of Remembrance Day, and thank you for your service, sir, I hope he's great. And duty first to your dad. And now I'm going to throw you Nutsu cow.
Not
Thank you very much, mate, for your service, Mr. Morris.
I accept.
That's a really good stint. Malaya, Borneo, and Vietnam. Now, Malaya was chasing Ghost Team. For those that don't know, that guy was a sucker for being in the tropics. Malaysia sucks. Vietnam sucks. Borneo sucks. Timor sucks. Because you're fighting against the elements as much as you are against the enemy that can asymmetric warfare, just disappear, attack when they want to, like a mother-in-law in the night. You don't see it coming. All right? And you've got to be ready 24/7. And you're in their territory. They know how to hide, blend in. Well done, James Morris. I was in the 2nd 4th Battalion, which meant I'm part 4RAR too. Kirby Hamilton. Daz. The difference between cavalry and trooper. Okay, the trooper, the cavalry guy, okay, which shouldn't have the emu plume, by the way, that was given to him by Chevelle for doing a great job in the Shearer Strike, and then was seen as iconic during battles like the Light Horsemen, etc. for Beersheba, the good-looking guys of the Australian Imperial Forces. The difference is they are mounted all the time. Their weapons, capabilities, etc. There's only 2 to a vehicle, righto? 2 to a vehicle. Whereas an infantry section is 8, should be about 12 or 13. The difference between we fight dismounted, there is areas where cavalry cannot go, very restricted terrain, where infantry can go. Infantry can hold ground, cavalry can't hold ground. Cavalry are a weapon system within a vehicle. It's a platform that provides a capability, high maneuverability, can work in restricted terrain where a lot of vehicles can't, which means they don't have to go down a defined route, which makes them easier targetable. Wait a sec, 2 seconds. Father is good. Had a phone call from Nasho. My father trained in 8-9 RAR 1971. He said my father was straight with them. My father said, wow, that's awesome. Nashos weren't treated badly, team. Okay. And only volunteer Nashos went to Vietnam. Did you know that? This one's coming to you.
I accept.
Okay, continuation. One of the things that's different for Cav as well is the dynamics, where you have a cavalry guy, a driver, and a gunner / commander. And what happens is with those 2 guys, it takes a lot of maturity because it's 2 people spending all their time together if they don't have troops on board. Infantry, 8 troops. The maturity level can be lower. Responsibility level is still the same. Okay, but their capability comes from physical fitness, becomes from weapon professionalism, being able to remain undetected or be able to close with the enemy, to be able to travel at a speed in very restricted terrain, okay, that allows them to disappear over the horizon without actually making any noise, and attacking from an angle, normally combined with cavalry, because we prefer not to be isolated from either. Okay, mutual supporting systems. Okay, we protect them, they protect us. When indirect fire comes in, they have to get the hell out of Dodge a lot of the time. Right? Unless they're committed to a battle run, etc. Infantry gets to dig in, get below the ground, and when indirect fire comes, they can huddle down, get told to stay regardless of casualties. Right? That's a whole topic in itself, but I'm glad you brought it up. We've got another one here. No more money from you, Mr. James Morris. Just let us know if there's anything else you need to say. We appreciate it all. My father was floored. He got photos with him in 2019. I took them and met up with him for Anzac Day. Photos is one of those things that they had back then, not so many now. The reason is OPSEC security, and we're seeing what's going on with the SSR at the moment. You know, if you film it, take into account, it will be seen by the wrong eyes. If you take a photo of something that you don't want, it will get seen by the wrong eyes. And there is no statute of limitations on what you do overseas. Buyer beware. Hey, Hibiscus. Too much, my friend. Coffee's on me for the team. Loving tonight's questions and answers, Kaz. Hope Achilles and your princess are doing well. Achilles is doing well, really well. My daughter had a really great day yesterday. I lost my shit at her a little bit at the very end of her birthday because she was too tired, wanted the day to go on forever. That's what happens. But we had a great day, and I really appreciate you guys having the respect to allow me to have a bit of time out to make sure that her bases were covered before the channel, so to speak. Hibiscus, is this Leah? This is for you. I'm going to hit you with a double tap there because that is a sunburnt cow. White warrior. It.
It's a kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, Calamari.
Thank you very much, my friend. I've got to switch to, and how's your little one too? 10-year-old, if this is in fact Leah with a changed name. What we're going to do now is switching to guns. We're over onto the bat phone now because we ran out of charge on the other phone. So, boom, the backup. My skills here are pretty slow. Wait a sec, out of there. Patreon, bam. Moving to... I'm glad you like the format of the questions too. It gives you a chance to get in, ask a serious question without necessarily have to put any dough in the centre. I get it. Between Cavalry and Trooper. Yep. Kirby Hamilton, in case you don't know, is the jester. Did you know that, Hibiscus? He's the jester. He's the one that swallows knives, okay, juggles fire for the entertainment for the new people that come to Patreon, who then get to speak on the white phone, bat phone, so that they can get a contextual, unedited, unquarantined mentor phone call for anywhere up to an hour, okay, for the price of a cup of coffee a month. The jester says, I'm loving the Beetle, mate. What's your latest time in the push-up challenge? Well, basically, I just get them out in basically 6 sets. I just get out, first one 25, next one 15, and then from there 15s and 10s until I get 100. It doesn't take me long. I will time it again, and I've got some more fitness videos coming up for you soon. And I've also got, in case you're wondering, bam, the action cards are going to come up, and I'm looking to distribute those, as many as possible, get them printed off so you have a card to look at what your diagnostic is. How many push-ups, how many dips, how long can you hold the planking position for. We'll do all those. What is your run time for 1 kilometre? We'll make it fun. We'll compare notes. Daz, you don't need to do that, mate. Cheers for the answer, Kaz. Much appreciated. Should do one of your short video posts on Cav and infantry sometime. You know what, Daz? It's going to be one of my next videos because what you just did then, okay, was more than what you needed to do. What we've got is a that time of the month cow, or we could call it a kick toe on an oyster shell cow. Daz, thank you very much, mate. You get the double trouble.
It's a kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, Calamari.
What we'll also do, mate, is throw back the Middle Eastern Coca-Cola. Do we have, you guys have been asking me a lot of questions. Put a thumbs up if you legitimately are a Pepsi drinking scallywag down in comments below. I need to know. Right. Post, here we are. Okay. So the time. I need to get a readjusted time there, Kirby Hamilton, the jester, and we'll see what it is now. And it should be significantly shorter than what it was. It went back to being like 14 minutes. I used to do over 100 push-ups in 2 minutes in the push-up test. And then I went to do it after being out of the army for 4.5 years, and all of a sudden it was 14 minutes. I went, what the hell? So I got back into them. Now I'm down to like 6 minutes and less. And I haven't actually done it at red line as fast as I can do it for the ladies. Okay? But I'll do that for you. I will do it for you. Thumbs down, says Lauren. No Pepsi. Good. I haven't seen a single thumbs up, and that is the reason why I love this channel so much. It is a Pepsi-free environment, a safe space for Coke drinkers, the best way to brush your teeth on operations. And we've got, I don't know what's going to happen here. There's always a bit of smart arsery here with Aidan Ruth, who's getting his shirt soon. Hey, Kaz, if it's not too late, I would like to know what your experiences are with other nations' troops. And that was the final registered question. So we'll be leaving off with that one and then coming over here to free time in 2 seconds. Well, I've had extensive work with foreign nations, whether they be Indians in Rwanda, Gurkhas in Rwanda, Gurkhas in the 2nd Battalion when they came over with Indians on exchange, with American Marines, with American soldiers in Kaneohe Bay in Hawaii and Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. Okay, a lot of good live firing over there. Then I worked with about 11 different nations and expats over in the Sinai Peninsula. I haven't done the research on it, but Lauren told me. Okay, can we get some thumbs up for respect here? Apparently there's been a Black Hawk disaster today, I believe, over on the Sinai Peninsula, which observes the Camp David Accords. They've had a lot of crashes over there. They lost a contingent that crashed 1 year in the oceans off Canada while US soldiers were going home, and they were all parents that I believe. You know, they were going home to get to Christmas early to see their kids, and that ditched in the ocean off Canada. Pretty cold, lost the souls. Devastating. They've also lost a plane that was doing touchdown stuffing around, I believe, and speared in over there. So for those guys and their families and gals, my heart goes out to you. Remembrance Day, some new people straight off the bat to remember. It doesn't matter if you fall from the bayonet, from the bomb, from misadventure, okay, from vehicle accident. If you fall overseas, it still remains the last time that your family saw you was getting on that vehicle to leave that vehicle agency, boat, plane, whatever. So some bad news coming down there. And all the best to those families. Right, straight up. Righto, glasses off. Boom. And now I can't read. What? Someone's name is Pepsi. I find that very hateful, Kaz. You know what? Pepsi, you can stay on here as the icon, if you wish. I've got to go back to Glass of Sweat. That's a cruel name to call yourself there. Yeah, that's like social justice warrior forcing people to like them based on views that people don't agree. G'day guys, it's Gabriel. That's one of the nicest names I've ever heard. Whether it's used for a male or a female, it's a beautiful name. Aaron Nilsson, respect if he came from Spain. Lest we forget, right on. James Morris is saying special forces were overused in Afghanistan. Yes, I believe so too. The generals have something to answer for. Yes, they do. Because what that did, that means that they're not putting necessarily the right people at the task, which means they are overusing the special forces guys and fatiguing them. I'm going to tell you something else. One thing that made me very angry was when politicians stepped up and they were talking about the special forces fraternity that are currently under the spotlight being outed, and before they've had their day in court, etc., and being held accountable again before their day in court. I want them to remember one thing. Now, when you see or hear about allegations of impropriety happening from a soldier overseas, awesome. Investigate it. Get to it. Let it be by a jury of his peers of rank that understood the rules of engagement, that understood what this soldier was going through, went through, okay, diagnosed through, okay? Because we let people off crimes all the time in Australia when we go, this person was not of sound mind at that time because of fill in the blank. But I'm gonna spin this one on its head for a second. For a politician to get into a position where they say, yes, we'll send troops over, and then send you over to potentially die, and then send you over with rules of engagement that sometimes suck in an asymmetric warfare where it's hard for you to defend yourself against someone who knows how to hide, they've already put you in a position. Now, who is the greater evil? Is it the soldier on the ground who gets to the point where he can't take any more, and something occurs and he knows something about an individual that's got away 5, 6, 7 times through corrupt police force in a foreign country or whatever happened. I don't know the situation at all. I haven't even seen the video. But who is the greater evil? Is it the politicians that send them and then complain with the way they do their job potentially? What about the same politicians that sent myself and my brothers over to Rwanda with rules of engagement where we weren't allowed to help the black people when they started murdering other black civilians? Why don't they then put their hand up and go, okay, I'll take the murder charges for all of the people that lost their lives, children, women, civilian men, the elderly. Who's going to take responsibility for that by making us stand there and watch that shit go on? You don't hear about that. So how about they shut their goddamn cake hole and remember they can be complicit in the decisions they make, and maybe if they could do their job better, then we wouldn't get in a position where we're going over for these situations. And if we are, then send us over to fucking win. If you don't send us over to win, don't send us at all. Or put your own kid in the front line with us. As it is, they're holding their hands back. They should be disgusted, especially when the shadow of the war memorial falls over Parliament House. Yep. Let them start to have a look in their own backyard before they start showing the backyards of those that they send overseas. Right. Sorry. I think politicians should have the say over operations. I think the politicians should have the say over operations. They would know what they're talking about. Steve O, have you seen that channel on YouTube, No Duff Industries? Yeah, I've seen it, mate. Yeah. What about it? He seems to have some good information, puts himself in the shit. He's a serving member with the YouTube channel. I wouldn't recommend it. Stay in the flags, mate. I will, Jay. Good advice, Jay. I agree. Google moderator team deleted a comment. Google moderator team deleted a comment. Oh, life is outside the flags. Yeah, it is. That is true, Brady. What did he say? Don't know. Thanks for the help getting into Kapuka, Kaz and Lauren. Jordan says, no problems at all. You won't be thanking us when you're in the bear pit. You know, floating like a bit of driftwood. Feeling sorry for yourself like an SAS. Who Dares Wins. Channel 7. It's not a game show. Well, it's exactly what it is. Black and white mechanical. It's been a while, mate. Politician are a joke. They are professional lawyers. Daz. Well bloody said, Kaz. Daz, I care about yous. Okay? I care about yous because you guys and gals that are enlisting now are going to be the same as people like me that might get put into a position where you're going unattainable. This is not my value system, but I have to do this job and now I have to live with it for the rest of my life and look at my children's eyes and explain to them, bam, why is Dad so mad? Why don't I ask a politician? Why is Dad so mad? I wonder if they'd go and talk to my kid and go, because, sit on my lap, kid, I won't touch you, I'm not hiding Biden, and do a better job than I can. So Daz, well said. We've got Canaan peppers here. Meant shouldn't, Kaz. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, okay, shouldn't. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. Politicians shouldn't be. They send us to positions. Their job is not to discuss our rules of engagement, yet they do. James Morris, Kaz, you need to be a character witness for the effects of war on soldiers. You cannot charge soldiers with civilian charges. The fog of war. You need to be a character witness for the effects of war on soldiers. You cannot charge soldiers with civilian charges. The fog of war. I don't understand that. You mean is it going to be a court martial, etc.? I'm not sure. But all I know is they're already being charged in a court of public opinion, and they're being named and shamed and thrown out there. And I don't agree with it. Guys and gals, the collective Nutsu Cow and Kraken there for you for the fantastic donations of Daz, Kane and Peppers, James Morris again. Kaz, worth donating mate to you and your channel. My body cannot serve, but my mind can help you. It's got to be better than my mind, my friend. These are coming out to you guys. I'll just get rid of this can here. And thank you, James.
It's a Kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, Calamari.
There is a time and a place for a rant. Okay, I just don't believe it should go on for too long. It should be to the point And that's exactly what it was. But thank you very much for, one, pulling me back in from the flags, two, understanding and realising that there is a lot of pressure on soldiers now, and it should never come at the point like our poor cops, where they're facing inwards for where the enemy is, seems to be in their logistics, not out there where the perps are. We're already getting porn bots jumping into our comment section. At least wait till we finish, guys, gals, please. Hey, Kaz, what would you expect people to achieve when they head to Kapuka? Example, push-ups. I want you to do 60. I want you to do under 10 in the run, and sit-ups between 64 and 100. Okay? Heaves, if you can, 7. Beep test, 1 kilometre run and 2 kilometre run. 2 kilometres should definitely be under 10 minutes. 1 kilometre, under 5 minutes. Yep. Paul Toohey. I think I do know Paul Toohey. It sounds very familiar, but I know a lot of people. Diesel Duck Fan 2001. That's a fantastic name. Has Kaz just passed assessment day. Well done. I have one question, though. I passed the interview, but the psych failed me for 12 months, but the interviewer overruled the decision and passed me. They're not allowed to overrule an interviewer is not allowed to overrule a psych. I don't know what happened there. One might have been unless it was like, I think you're too immature at the moment. I'm not sure. Don't know how old you are, Diesel Duck, but that's the only time I would understand where someone from a non-medical background would overrule someone from a medical background, because that opens a can of worms that I couldn't put the lid back on. But this one, James, my mother-in-law is 92. She loves calamari and chips. Then we're going to throw this one to her. I hope she doesn't like octopus, which is a completely different creature. It belongs to the devil. This is for your grandma, mate. What's her name?
It's a kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy.
Not your mother-in-law.
Welcome, calamari.
I do an amazing calamari too for all those watching that it's swipe right on Kaz, guy or girl. James, make sure you go and have some sit-down time with your mother-in-law, because they lived in some amazing times where it was never about victim mentality. It was all about living life, understanding that everyone gets a shitty hand here and there and dealing with it and doing it as a team. Men need women, women need men, and you shouldn't ever think, it can be very lonely life to be alone. And I know. Mr. Bryce, how far back should they look for war crimes? My dad told me of Japanese soldiers being summarily eliminated after capture. It's a tough one, and they're a tough enemy. Mr. Bryce, I really have no answer for that one. I believe it sort of goes both ways, doesn't it? And the Japanese weren't the sort of prisoners that if they gave up, you could go sit over there, play the game. Look what happened at the Cavalry breakout. When they broke out, they killed Australian soldiers when they escaped en masse as well in Australia. For those that don't know about it, one of the best miniseries ever made in Australia, the Cavalry breakout. And there's a beautiful love story behind it too, with an Australian soldier and a Japanese soldier that fought together against each other in New Guinea, okay, and then developed a friendship through respect. The Cavalry breakout, fantastic. The first episode is one of the best episodes of film I've ever seen. Where are we? Hibiscus. Kaz, I've just reached 15 push-ups. Took me 2 months to get 15. Pats myself on the back. I'll try and reach 20 soon. Hibiscus, all you got to do is keep adjusting. As soon as you get that figure, keep adjusting. Get that figure, keep adjusting. If that means that each day you say, okay, I am going to do my maximum every hour, working hour, okay, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock around the clock, then I will do that. And what's going to happen is, although they will fall down and lower each hour, eventually you'll be doing 17, 19, 20 and onwards. And people will see the action. You will feel the muscular capability within yourself, and you'll get addicted to that, and you'll love it. And you'll get better and better, the best version of you, hibiscus. That's a beautiful flower right there. This is nose made for smelling flowers. James Morris, mother-in-law, Angela Novello. That's a beautiful name. She is Italian and lived through World War II in Venice, Italy. We are taking her out on Sunday for lunch and cemetery for her husband. That's beautiful, mate. And the fact that you love your mother-in-law, oh, that's beautiful. Mate, no more money. I want you to spend this on her dinner. Fantastic. Can we get some thumbs up for the Miss Lovely Angela Novello? Sounds like a beautiful singer. We take her to honour her deceased husband. All Saints Day delayed. Man, that's a beautiful thing. Can we get some thumbs up there for Angela, please? Angela Novello. That's really, really nice, mate. Really nice. This one's coming to you. But no more donations from you, please, sir. No more. More calamari for her.
It's a Kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy.
Or her.
Welcome, calamari.
That's a seedy mustache. I've got a video coming out tomorrow for you too, team, by the way. A bit of a pump me up, a bit of a how you going, a bit of a thank you. Make the team bigger sort of thing. Attaboy, A. Castle Lauren, no Spanner crew and team. We're all here. Guy, did you see your question answered before, Addy? Jay, all good. Diesel Duck, Chocks, I'm not sure what that was about. Infantry loves you drop shorts. We've got the respect for Angela there. Varello, Flubberdubber and friends. Thanks, James. It really makes you feel like you're part of someone's family when they give you that trust to let you know. You know, these beautiful people that are amongst us. Always presume that every old person you see has lived a life that has books of memories in their mind that only once they're gone do we realise the value of said books. Pepsi, hand of colour. Our fitness coach says pain for gains, no one stops. That's it. It's it. When you are actually starting to hurt, that is when the gains are being made, I tell you. One thing I'll tell you too, team, when you go for runs, etc., do not jump straight into the showers. Let the muscles, let them keep cool down within themselves. That good tip is if you're still sweating, you don't need to have a shower. That's your body machine is still working. Get some water into you. Take it easy. Walk around. Get some fresh air. Feel alive. Still burning calories. You're still building. Yep, you're getting the benefits of the training session. Kaz, got any tips for Angus? He got an offer for ADFA next year. Take it. Although I'm not always there for ADFA because I think, why does a university degree make you any better? Why would you ask someone who hasn't got a university degree? Kaz, stop pissing on people's parades. Okay, I'll stop. Go to ADFA. If he's going to do it, do military history or something amazing. Do something that's going to actually help him with a career. And after that, I'll talk to him once a week for half an hour if he wants to get him in that position to give him the best chance of success. Dave, what is your favourite food in Vietnam? I hope it's not tarantula. Dave's in a street where a car can't go down to. He's there with his lady. They don't understand the language. He doesn't understand the language. Reckons he knows enough to get into trouble. Okay, and just enough to get out of trouble. Great background photo, says Jason Partel. Thanks, mate. ADFA training is not full-on, team. RMC can be a little bit full-on, but again, remember, it's for all corps, all gender. Okay, it's not that bad, but there is a scale of marking in between there. Remembering when you go to ADFA, RMC, etc., you don't actually get to go in there and say, this is the corps I want to go to. They will look at you and say, are you the droid that is needed in this position? If the answer is no, then you don't get it. If you look better at logistics, if you're better at solving problems in a different way to the kinetic, decisive capability guy that might, or gal, that might be good for infantry or cav, if you're not that, then you might be someone who's fantastic in a intelligence, signals corps, engineers, or something like that. They will see the best of you before they pigeonhole you and lock you in there before they've seen what you're capable of in third class, second class, and first class. Robbie Kent, the lover of dogs, the keeper of hounds. Lots of laugh, definitely not me. If I changed name, it would be Lurker in the bush. My shadow would look like I'm feeding the pigeons really fast. Such it. G'day, mate. How you going? Such it. Have you subscribed yet, mate? We have so many people that come to the channel don't subscribe besides the fact that it's free. Burn that single calorie. Treat that like button as well like it is a curse that goes out to create someone that you don't like to have Cheeto fingers for the rest of their life. Showtime Ash. Novembrian Army. What's that? I don't know that one. Follow the Sapper. G'day Planet Shot 99. Flubber Dubber and friends. It looks like it's starting to stuff up a bit. YouTube is not receiving enough video. We haven't said anything bad. Hibiscus. Tasmanian Devil. Awesome work. Coca-Cola. No, shall they make you do it? I'm not sure what that's about. You did a great job on the Remembrance video. Loved it. Says Black and White Mechanical. Look, I want to address this one again. Thank you very much, mate. Guys and gals, the least amount of views we've ever had for any video was the video of Kaz and Lauren together, okay, on the Remembrance Day video. It goes for like 6 minutes or something. Take the time out to go and check that out. And leave a comment, leave a loved one, leave a family member's name in the comments who you remembered that day. It is so special that when people say or see Remembrance Day anything, that it is flooded with respect and love. The reason being, one day it could be you. And if no one turns up to that sort of sends a message, will anyone turn up for me? And if the answer is no, why would you do it? Right? Lauren, it was great Black and White. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I feel like I've been left out. I don't think that deserved a delete. That might be happening from actual message deleted by Fugly. Okay, it was from Fugly. Sorry, guys, I don't weigh in on that stuff. I don't get time to see what the comments say. James Morris, I reckon every super message I've sent, money worth spent. James, thank you very much, mate. You're a saint. Australian to use Pepsi. And when I see your name, oh, hi Addy. Been here for a long time. Pepsi. What would we have to do for you to change your name to Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola all day. I wish I could do something. Yeah, I think so too, Carl, but I like it. It does make me laugh. Someone for a little while's name had been changed in Kaz's Trench, and I was like, what the hell? I love it, Kaz. It was worth watching. We just care about people. All of those people that stepped up, in the Great Wars, etc. You think, where would our country be now if their sons had actually been born, their daughters? Would have they been the best singers, the best politicians? Would have they been Olympians? What would have they been? The brave die first. What would have happened to their pyramid of contribution of humans to this country, to this planet? James Patel, I don't know about you, Kaz, but I'm enjoying SAS Australia. I love it, Jace. I love it. Because I'm able to compartmentalise that and look at it and go, this is not necessarily about army. People watching that show can learn about themselves. Most mistakes that I've made, someone else has gained knowledge from on how not to do it next time. Most mistakes I've seen, okay, I know not to do that again. Don't repeat mistakes of the past, etc. Don't blame the sins of the father on the son is one of the biggest ones that I'd give you. Just because someone's mum or dad is a dick doesn't mean that sometimes they don't. They normally have fantastic children, great children. Japan, one of my most loved countries. They were our enemies. Okay, only 80 years ago. Yeah, crazy. Aiden Ruth, I'm always late. Need to get on my time management. That's all right, mate. That's all right. You come when you can. It should never be a chore. Jason Patel, I don't know about you, Kaz, but I'm enjoying SAS Australia. Jace, who's your favourite person on the show? Lauren, no, it's exactly my point, Brady. There you go. If I didn't delete it, I would have. Okay, I didn't see what it was. We're going to go till 20 past. So you've got 10 more minutes to go, team. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I love streaming. I do it every night, except for the fact that by doing that, what would occur is there'd be less and less people watching, because who the hell comes just to watch someone talk? You know? Kane and Peppers. Kaz's video was great. Wish more had yours and Lauren's passion and respect. A lot of people do, man, but we've never been a busier society with so many distractions. The video I want to put out tomorrow, it reminds people, I don't want people to think that I want this to be your only channel. But if you're going to have 10 channels that you watch, just make this one of them. That's it. Just subscribe. Become part of the channel. Get to know the people that don't judge you, okay, that listen to what your comments are, so we learn from you as well. I learn so much from absorbing the questions you ask. The sense of humour, it replaces the darkness that I have in my soul. And I appreciate every bit of it. Thank you very much. Sorry. Excellent question. Wait 2 seconds. Shit. She might be with her puppy. I took her to dinner tonight and she didn't want anything until she saw my steak. Cancelled March outs at Kapuka. Plant shot artillery is great, but want to go as an observer. Okay. Go to Townsville. That way you'll be working with the 2nd Battalion. Okay, or 1st Battalion or 3rd Battalion. Embedded with infantry.
Welcome to the...
My phone's out. She might have actually tried to ring me. Shit. Thanks for that, button. I can't believe I let it slip. I had dinner with her tonight. I took her to Rashi's. She'd been to hip-hop dancing. I want my daughter to dance. As a byproduct of that, she should have the confidence to be able to get up in front of other people. Everything has a reason, a capability. Yeah. Mr. Bryce, Planet Shot. Artillery is great, but want to go as an observer. Yep. Infantry love drop shorts, especially when you hit your target. We need you on that wall. We do. Zachary Viggers. Hey, Kaz, I want to join the Army in a few years, and I got accepted into Army Cadets, but just recently, do you think it is a good way to start off? It can be good and it can be bad, mate. Cadets can be good and it can be bad. It can teach you bad habits. What it can also do is make you so comfortable in cadets that you actually never end up making the jump to Army Reserve or the regular Army, and then you go to civilian job and then still stay as Lord of the Flies, so to speak. You know, you've got to remember they're children, mate. Okay, you do your time there. Don't get in trouble. Learn some skills. Get some responsibility. Love it. But never at the expense of your schoolwork. And remember, it is a stepping stone in a lot of ways. You know, and when you show respect for that uniform, it can lead you towards Army Reserve or the regular Army. Consider it like a national service at a child's age. And I'd say that everyone is an individual case where some get a lot from it, some get a lot bad from it. I think there's a little bit too much Lord of the Flies that happens in there, and that's a bit that scares me. Too much testosterone mixed with too much estrogen, mixed with too much sexual charged energy at an age where consent is not allowed. It scares me. B Stubbsy, I was an Army cadet and now I'm a reservist. There you go. There you go. Stubbsy, proof of the comment. Tasmanian Devil, can we get a joke, Kaz? I'm not really a joke. I'm more an anecdotal sort of person. One I do like to talk about, but is that Antarctica hasn't rained for over 2 million years, but people wear a raincoat every time they go there. There's always the man that asked his wife to marry him and she said no, and so he went out and bought a speedboat, a car, and a surfboard and lived happily ever after. Huh. Ioannis Abera. What's that name? What does don't get in trouble mean? Don't get in trouble. That means that everything that happens, when I was growing up, when Lauren was growing up, when where else? Where we got some people over the age of 40. Basically, when we were growing up, you got forgiven for almost everything. It was hard to go to jail. But now, you make one mistake and you get in trouble, and that's going to hang on to your job abilities and potential for the rest of your life. Don't get in trouble. Don't do anything that will prevent you from having a career. Remember that the military will ask you, have you had whatever, fill in the blank, and they don't go and look into it. But what they do make you do is sign something at the bottom to say that everything you have done and said is accurate and that this is a legal document. So don't put yourself in a position. Planet Shot 99. My Seko Kapuka once had a cadet who was a warrant officer try to make him call him sir. We all had a laugh. Look, I've had that situation happen at the School of Infantry before where there was 5 cadet officers walking 5 abreast like they were going to the OK Corral. I went over there and kicked their ass, and reminded them that they were wearing a uniform that looks similar to ours, and that's not the way we get around the area, and that they were guests in our location, and they should, have some more respect for the institution of the regular soldiers that were here. And they looked at me like, where's the salute? And all I could think to myself is, how were they not told that they don't have any rank? That their rank is real when they're in a place like the School of Infantry or an army depot, etc. Where people have affirmation up to and including their life for a mission, right? They just looked at me and didn't know what to do and what to say. Well, educated on it. Why did the chicken cross the road? To see the idiot in the house over the road. Knock, knock, who's there? The chicken. Jesse, I wish I had your girl. Hey, Kaz, do you believe that we should change over to M4s? We can't just change out of M4s. Okay, they were part of the tender when we were looking for weapons, but USA wasn't going to allow us to make them in Lithgow, as I can remember. So we went to the bullpup design of the F-88 Steyr made from Austria. I can't help but think that it had something to do with the fact that it was in Die Hard at the time. I remember going to the signal to no R's mess as cadet. Scariest day of my life, but yet valuable lessons learnt. Stubbsy, it should be the sergeant's mess you're nervous of, not the officer's mess, mate. The officers, they all get to go there, even as a trainee. In the sergeant's mess, you're normally done 12 years plus and have operational experience and kick officers' asses for a living. Only behind closed doors, of course. Level on, ready. Lauren, it's a good hobby for youth, Zachary, but very different than real service. Okay. Snake. I've got another bunch of phone calls good to go as well. I love it. I get a lot out of it. I go out, I walk, I have a cup of coffee, I talk to you, I laugh, and normally you're the one that goes, okay, I've heard enough. I need to get off now. But guys,